news out of Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett, gone. Headed to Philadelphia. The Steelers got pick 98 and the two seventh rounders in 2025. Philly gets Pickett in the 120th pick. Some reporting from Jerry Dulock of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. The Steelers made this move because of the way Pickett was poorly handling the arrival of Russell Wilson. According to sources, this came on the heels of Pickett's behavior last season when he refused to dress, it's like my son, as the emergency third quarterback in Seattle in Week 17. Joining us to discuss, we flew you in as soon as we heard this news.
Yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate you getting on a plane. Andrew Filipponi from 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh. But Nick, we'll start with you.
Yeah.
What's your reaction to this latest report about Kenny Pickett?
I mean, I get why the Eagles wanted to upgrade the backup quarterback situation, given the fact that Jalen dealt with injuries last year. I would have gone a different. I think Justin Fields would have been a better option for them there, and it would have fit more. My reaction to Pickett is I was skeptical of the reporting that last year he threw a temper tantrum after playing poorly and then getting hurt when he wasn't the starter. But now this confirms it. Like, there is a weird thing about these below average mid-first round draft picks, whether they're drafted in New England or Pittsburgh, where they have this weird sense of entitlement when they haven't played well. Like, that's my reaction. Like, who is Kenny Pickett to say, I shouldn't have to compete to be the starting quarterback?
The emergency quarterback thing is a little bit of a...
That's fine, but I'm talking about the thing now with Russell Wilson. Where he's like, I have to compete for this job. Buddy, like, they picked Mason Rudolph over you in the playoff game.
Well, I think he feels like he got misled.
What do you mean?
He feels like when this whole process started in the offseason, he was told, you're going to be our starting quarterback, but it's going to be with competition. And I think they told him that. I know they told him that a couple of times. And then when the Wilson thing heated up, I think at that point, it changed. And now Wilson comes in as the starting quarterback. He takes a back seat to that. Look, I know that Seattle thing, there's a lot of truth to that, what happened there.
What do you mean? What Seattle?
Well, I'm talking about that game.
Oh, Week 17.
Yes,
gotcha.
Jerry's reporting on that is right. That he did not want to deal with going down to the depth chart after Rudolph came in and played so well against Cincinnati.
Can I say something? And I don't want to pass too harsh of judgment. That sounds pretty lame. Like, the idea that Russ is coming in to compete. Russ went to Seattle when, what's my man's name from the Packers that he just signed a big deal when Russ's rookie year? Matt Flynn.
Yeah.
When Matt Flynn had that big contract and Russ went in and won the job. So the guy you're competing against, the reason why he's been successful is because he went in somewhere as the underdog and took the job. So the fact that he's coming into your building and you can't be inspired by him to literally follow the same path
I agree entirely.
Seems lame.
No, I agree entirely.
Well, I'd heard that this might happen earlier in the week, but I thought that cooler heads were going to prevail. Because the Steelers, this is such a knee-jerk reaction from them. What a 180 that they draft the guy in the first round and 3 years later he's off the roster. That has not happened since 1996 was the last time a first-round pick only got 2 years with the Steelers. So this is completely out of character for them.
That's for any position with the Steelers?
First-round pick players, 1996 is the last time they did something like this.
Usually it feels like the front office feels some responsibility of like,
yeah.
If we move this guy, it's not only on the guy, but it's kind of on this guy too. I picked him, so.
How about that?
Yeah. Odds to win the
that?
AFC North. Ravens, Bengals, Browns, then the Steelers. Russ hunting for a Super Bowl. Andrew, what's your reaction to Russ's introductory press conference?
Well, I'm fired up. I've been re-energized by bringing him.
Are you being,
No, I'm being dead serious.
I agree.
In my opinion, this is, if you look at it, it is one of the greatest bargains for a quarterback in NFL history. He is a borderline Hall of Fame quarterback, and he is going to play for $1.21 million. Look at the other quarterbacks in the division. Deshaun Watson, $63 million cap hit. Burrow, $27 million. Jackson, $30 million. The Steelers have a guy for $1.21 million. That allows you to build the roster and the team out with him at $1.2 million.
So here's my question, because I'm glad you brought up the money. Where is all the Steelers' talent? Because where are they spending the money? Because I went
defense. They've got the highest paid defense in the entire league. Watt, Hayward, Minka.
So
Patrick Queen now comes over.
They've got 3 offensive players that make more than $4 million. They're all linemen, and the only two that make more than $5 million, and they're both their guards. The 10 highest paid guys on the team are 8 defensive players and their left guard and right guard. And now they have $1 million quarterback. And so I say...
Who's better than people are making him out to be,
Who?
I think.
Who is? Russell Wilson?
Well, yeah, I believe. You don't think so?
I mean, I think he is... I guess it depends on who's making him out. I'll take myself. I think Russell Wilson next year will be around the 25th to 27th best quarterback in the league. So I think he is a bottom 8 quarterback amongst starting quarterbacks. You think he's better than that?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
He had 26 touchdowns to 8 interceptions last year. There was 1 less than Mahomes. Look at the quarterbacks he threw more touchdown passes than. So hold on a second. Herbert, Lawrence, Lamar Jackson won the MVP award, had 2 more touchdown passes than him. I think he's a fit in their offense. Arthur Smith, very heavy play action guy.
See, I like that.
Wilson's stats last year, play action, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. 4th most play action plays.
Yeah.
Arthur Smith.
I think you know what I think. I think those numbers are misleading.
Yeah.
I think that if there was any validity to what you watched with what the numbers said, he wouldn't be playing for $1 million on a 1-year deal. He wouldn't have had, as he put it, a couple teams call. We know who they were: the Giants and the Steelers. He stopped by
the Giants thing is
and the Giants now have
shaky.
Agreed, but he did meet with them. It would appear.
I know someone said that was like Russ initiated.
Well, I think Russ initiated this. And so the idea that Pittsburgh feels a lot. Last year's Steelers feel a lot like the 2022 Vikings, where they crushed one-score games, had a negative point differential, and you felt like the record was not indicative of the overall quality of
Nick,
the team.
They just traded their starting quarterback for a 3rd-round pick, compensatory pick. Their quarterbacks, all 3 of them, combined for 13 touchdowns. They won 10 games. They're getting a big quarterback improvement off of what they had last year.
So that's
undeniable.
So
that's unequivocal.
So I am not certain that Russell Wilson will be much better this year than the quarterback play for the Steelers was last year. I think that if Russell Wilson was a significant upgrade, then there would have been more of a market for him, and there would have been more of an ability for him to secure more, not just forget the $1 million this year, but a guarantee next season into that. And that, I think it's pretty clear, did not exist.
I don't think there was a bigger market because of his personality. Don't you think that factors into it? Don't you think that's part of it?
I mean, I don't think
that's... And you're paying Mike Tomlin all this money to work with him and get him in line.
I thought from what I watched from the introductory press conference, I know when you said you were energized, it was an awesome introductory press conference. Now, maybe, I don't know, I know we don't want to judge press conferences because, Dan Campbell had a horrible press conference and he turns out to be, but this press conference, it just felt, if I was a Steelers fan, I would be fired up. He seems focused and just
humbled, not as much pomp and circumstance.
He also said he spoke to Kenny Pickett and said, "Let's get after it." And then Kenny Pickett's gone. It's a little bit strange, but it is what it is.